Hello and welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for fantasy Premier League content for the 2022-23 season. My name is Dan and today it is Monday, so we are going to do a transfer tier list for you guys. We're going to rank some of the most popular transfers in so far this week. So if you are still enjoying the tier list videos, please do make sure you smash a like, really helps out the channel, and do subscribe if you're new around here as well. But without further ado guys, let's meet the 20 players of the week. Alright guys, so you can see in front of you the most popular players in the week in terms of transfers in, ranked from the 20th most popular transfer in all the way to the first most popular transfer in. No surprise, there's a few Manchester United players in here after last night's result. But yes, we're going to put all 20 of these players into 5 categories: must-buys, great transfers, optionals, bad transfers, and avoids. We are going to be pretty critical. We're going to be pretty harsh on these players because remember, transfers are precious, so we have to be as critical as we can. But all of these players, look, all of these players are kind of, you know, you could transfer them in, but I'm going to be harsh and try and judge them the best I can. And you guys are definitely going to disagree with some of these. But let's start off with Reece James. So Chelsea actually play Fulham next, which is a pretty good fixture. Reece James has moved back to the right wing-back position, which should, in theory, be a good thing. Although, you know, maybe we had a slight slow start with that West Ham game. But Fulham is an easier game, right? You would say on paper, Fulham have conceded a lot of chances so far this season. They have been one of the weaker defences. And you'd expect that Reece James, even if you're not rating Chelsea's defence, which I wouldn't really blame you on, I do, to be fair, think that Fulham will probably score against Chelsea. We kind of got to think of James as a bit of an attacker. And for a 6 million attacker who gets extra points for his goals, you would expect maybe him to pop up with a goal, maybe an assist in this game. So in that sense, I think he's a pretty good player to have. I would even put him, I think I'd even put him a great transfer. I think he's a pretty good player to have. I know the premium defenders aren't typically working, but Reece James, we know what he's capable of, and you know, it's a good fixture, so I don't see why you wouldn't buy James. I think it's good, and there's some good fixtures coming up for Chelsea as well. It's not just this game week, there's good fixtures after that. Sancho is a difficult one. I know Manchester United just got a very good result against Arsenal. The next game is Crystal Palace away. It's not a fixture that I love, to be honest. It's not a fixture that I love, so I'm not really convinced that I'd be wanting to spend the money on Sancho. It's quite a lot of money. Like, there's some other midfielders from Manchester United. I won't name any names just yet, but I think I would prefer to Sancho, and I think you guys will probably agree with me on that one. So therefore, I feel like we have to put Sancho in as a bad transfer, unless you're transferring in multiple Manchester United midfielders. I'm not sure you'd do that. Again, don't really like the fixture. Game week 8, Manchester United play Leeds, so maybe that's a slightly better time to jump in on several Manchester United assets. But if I'm jumping on anyone right now, probably not going to be Sancho, if I'm honest. Dalot, I don't actually mind. So Dalot, I'm going to put in optional, because although Crystal Palace, you know, might be a kind of a slightly tricky game, I do think there is a potential for a clean sheet here. And we have seen, to be fair, Manchester United keep some clean sheets more recently, which is a good thing. You know, it can only be a good thing. And Dalot, attacking wing-back, only 4.5 million. Some decent fixtures coming up as well. Yeah, I can see a little bit of potential here. You don't have to pay very much money, and when a player is cheap, you have to be naturally less critical of them. You're less hard. You don't expect as much. So yeah, 4.5 million defender. I think you can do worse than Dalot. Cancelo, I think, is a great transfer, or is he optional? This week, because he plays Spurs, I think Spurs will score against Manchester City. Spurs have been kind of a bit of a bogey team for Manchester City over the last few years. You know, they beat the last game they played against each other. Obviously, Spurs actually won, scored a few goals in that game. So, I don't know if I was to buy Cancelo, I don't think this would be the week I would buy him. But at the same time, I do think he's a really good player to have in your squad. And I think Manchester City have been quite unlucky to have conceded the amount of goals that they have conceded. All of their goals, all of the games, like, they seem to concede, like, from very low XG. I don't know if that's because Ederson's bad. No, that can't be true. No, I just don't think now is the right time. I think, I guess optional. I guess we'll put Cancelo in optional, because in terms of this game week, because this is the video for game week 7, would I transfer in Cancelo in game week 7? Maybe. It wouldn't be a priority move, so I guess optional. Raheem Sterling, I think, is, you know, maybe a great transfer. Like I say, Fulham is a decent fixture. As always, it's the difficulty with Sterling is how do you get him in. But I think that the difference is this week is that I think a lot of people have had enough of Salah. I did a stream last night, and we did a poll, we did a vote in the stream, and about half of the people actually saying they were going to sell Salah this week, or, you know, they are strongly, at least they are strongly considering selling Salah, or consider Salah to be a sell. So if you're looking for a new midfielder, could Sterling be a guy? The problem has always been his awkward price. I think I'm going to put him in a great transfer. I think he could get something out of this Fulham game. I really do. I'm going to put him in great transfer, tentatively. But there we go. Sterling, bit of a legend, bit of a don. Bernardo Silva, would I buy him ahead of the game against Spurs? I mean, when Manchester City won 6-0 against Forest, Bernardo Silva came away with 1 assist. So that kind of shows that Bernardo is not necessarily involved in too much. You know, when we look at these Man City attackers, it's all about Haaland, it's all about, you know, KDB, obviously, Gundogan when he's playing. I kind of wonder how, like, what slice of the pie Bernardo's going to get. You know, if he's going to get like a 10% slice of the attacking pie, you are going to need some very good fixtures in order for him to get returns, I would say. Like, I just can't see City scoring 3 goals against Spurs, and I think that's what it would take in order for Bernardo to have a contribution. Plus, I think he's a little bit rotation risk. I think he could potentially be rotated as well, particularly with some other players coming back for Man City. It's a difficult one. I think I kind of have to put him in bad transfer. I wouldn't be bringing him in this week. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't be completely avoiding him, but I wouldn't. I'm not feeling it. Saliba at 4.8 million. I think he has got slightly too expensive. I don't know about you guys. Saliba was great for 4.5. You know, just to sit there, pick up, you know, occasional clean sheet points and don't really expect anything else. But for 4.8 million, I think you can find players slightly cheaper or around that price that can offer you a little bit more than Saliba. And I know people are going to be saying, yeah, but he scored a goal and he's got an assist this season. The goal was a wonder goal that he's not going to score again this season, let me tell you that. And the assist, the ball just bounced off him by accident. He didn't even know he got the assist at the time. It just kind of happened to him. And Arsenal have only kept 2 clean sheets this season. So even as an Arsenal fan, I have to say I'm not too convinced by Arsenal's defence at the moment. Would I be spending 4.8 million on a Arsenal defender? Probably not. When I can spend 4.5 on a different defender, or I can spend 5 million and get a slightly more attacking defender, you know, a Kieran Trippier or someone like that, for only a little bit more than Saliba, and you get some attacking returns, well, far more attacking potential there as well. So, Saliba, unfortunately, Arsenal have some very bad fixtures coming up as well. I think that there's only got like 2 good fixtures in the next 6. They've got to play like Liverpool, they've got to play Spurs. They've just got tough fixtures. So, I'm going to put Saliba in bad transfer. I'm sorry. He's just not top of my defensive priority list right now. He's pretty low, actually. I just would not be bringing him in at the moment. I just don't trust Arsenal defense enough. De Bruyne is pretty decent. Like, obviously, like, in general, he's amazing. But for the money that you pay for him, I don't know if he's a must-buy. I don't even know if he's a great transfer. Because Man City have okay fixtures coming up. They don't have amazing fixtures coming up. If you really are looking to get rid of Salah, and then your De Bruyne is certainly going to be like near the top of your shopping list, isn't he? I guess I'll put him in option. I'll put him in high tier optional. Again, would I bring him in ahead of this Spurs game? Possibly not. I do still think City will score against Spurs, but I don't think it's going to be an absolute thumping. So yeah, I wouldn't say De Bruyne is a priority transfer, but you could go for it. Luis Diaz, similar situation. In fact, yeah, I'd actually put Luis Diaz pretty low optional because Liverpool do have some stinking games coming up. You know, even this Wolves game next, Wolves have been reasonably tight defensively, and after that the fixtures are just not good. They play all of the top sides pretty much all in a row, so I do worry a little bit for Liverpool, to be fair. So yeah, Luis Diaz would not be top of my priority list unless you just are selling Salah and you really just want to get that Liverpool attacking cover somehow. Then maybe you can go for Luis Diaz, but yeah, not convinced by that one. Not totally convinced. Zaha, the neck tattoo legend, I still think he's a great transfer. His underlying stats are still phenomenal, so I'm going to put him actually ahead of everyone. He's going to be the top player so far, so I'm going to put him in great transfer. Yeah, fair enough, he didn't get anything against Newcastle. Yeah, I can kind of see why that would happen, but yeah, going forward, he has got some really good fixtures, particularly from game week 10 onwards, I believe. So yeah, Zaha is going to come into some really nice fixtures soon, and he has been looking really, really good over the course of the season. Phenomenal. So yeah, I still think he's a really good player to go for. If you already got him and you're disappointed with his Newcastle blank, don't be disappointed. Just be excited about the future, because I'm kind of jealous of you guys who own Zaha. Haaland, you know, I think, like I've kept saying, like, there has to be a right and a wrong time to buy Haaland. That's what I've been saying for the last couple of weeks. Now is the time. now is the time. They absolutely is a must-buy. If you're still a straggler, if you're a straggler like me, we have reached the time to buy Haaland. You have to get him now. The whole thing was we weren't sure if he was going to get rotated. We had these comments about that Haaland had only signed for Man City because he had these promises that his minutes would be managed. We had comments from Pep Guardiola saying, Haaland, when we're playing multiple games, one game every 3 days or 2 games in 3 days, then Haaland is going to be rotated and Alvarez is there to take his place. And then in that exact situation where we know Haaland is playing in a few days in the Champions League, he gets 90 minutes in the Premier League, having just played the previous game as well. So I think we just have to, I don't know if the situation has changed. I don't know if Haaland is actually responding a lot better and feeling a lot more fit, less tightness in his muscles and stuff like that. And, maybe he's not having to overexert himself as much. Maybe he's been playing a little bit more, being able to play in a slightly more passive way, less energetic way. I don't know how to describe it without it sounding like a diss, because I'm really not trying to say that. What I'm trying to say is clearly something has happened, something has changed, and Haaland is pretty much nailed on every single game, and he's just going to keep playing. So that theory of Haaland rotation, put it in the bin with the rest of the terrible takes from me so far this season. Haaland is God. He's a must-buy. He's not even like one of the most popular transfers players in, because everyone already has him, apart from me. Okay, so Mitrovic, I also think is almost a must-buy. After this Chelsea game, I can see already I'm going to put Mitrovic in must-buy next game week. But I do think he's still going to score against Chelsea. His underlying stats are amazing. Like, they're almost as good as Haaland. He's taken so many shots in such dangerous areas. His XG across the season has been sky high. He scored again this game week against Spurs. Not too many people are talking about it because he also got a yellow card and didn't get any bonus points. So he only got 5 points in that game. So I think that's kind of gone under the radar a little bit, but Mitrovic is still scoring goals even against the tough oppositions. So Chelsea, the way their defence is a little bit all over the place at the moment, for Fulham to play them, Fulham are at home as well, I kind of feel like Mitrovic is going to have a bit of a field day. I wouldn't be surprised if Mitrovic did get a brace in this game, but I certainly back him to score against Chelsea. So I still think Mitrovic is kind of, apart from Haaland, he's kind of one of the top targets, really. He really is one of the top targets to buy. I'm still trying to work out how I'm going to get him into my team. May take a wild card. I'll just tell you that one. Mac Allister is one who that you're gonna hate me for this one. You're gonna absolutely hate me for this one, because I'm actually gonna put him in bad transfer. I know people look at points and think, wow, look at all those points. What an epic amount of points that player has got. And yeah, obviously that is one way of looking at things, but the context of Mac Allister's return so far this season is really quite unique. He's got 4 returns so far, so no assists, 4 goals. 3 of those goals were from penalties. So that is, like, to be fair, 6 game weeks to have 3 penalties is a lot. We don't expect that to, necessarily continue, or at least it would be naive if you thought that Brighton were going to go through the season and get 1 penalty every other game. It's just not going to happen. And the other goal was obviously a free kick, which Mac Allister takes some free kicks, Pascal Gross takes some other free kicks, Lewis Dunks takes some free kicks. So yeah, you can't even guarantee that Mac Allister is going to be on free kicks. In terms of open play, his expected assists and his key passes and his big chances created, very, very low. He's not really created very much for his teammates from open play. And even his open play attacking numbers are very, very, quite low as well. He's only taken really just a few shots from open play. So you really are depending on Brighton getting more penalties. And I just don't think you can depend on that. I think there are more dependable players. Now, for 5.5 million, you can do a lot worse. So he's not a straight up avoid. You can do a lot worse. At least he is on penalties. At least you have that chance. But to expect that to happen every game or every other game is naive. Things will regress to me, and things will return to average out and be a little bit more normal over the course of the season. And I wouldn't expect, weekly penalties. Weekly Mac Allister penalties. Probably not going to happen. It has happened already in the past, fair enough, but there's nothing to suggest that that's going to continue, and you can't get the points that he's already got. They're in the past, they're gone, move on, find the next big thing, not the last big thing. Martinelli is still a great transfer. In terms of, I'm going to put him slightly behind Mitrovic, because I do think Mitrovic has overtaken him in terms of importance, but I think, you know, for 6.5 million, you really are not going to do better in terms of a midfielder. You really are. He's just the perfect cheap slash mid. Well, he's cheap, really. He's the perfect cheap midfielder. He really is. You just absolutely have to have him. If you don't have him, you're almost as mudded as me without Haaland. Pope, is he a good transfer? If you're on a wild card, then I guess I go for Pope. If I'm not on a wild card, then, you know, I'm probably not making a goalkeeper transfer because it's usually a bit of a waste of time. But, yeah, in terms of goalkeepers, I think Pope is probably number one. So I'm actually going to put him top of optional. If you need for whatever reason to get a new goalkeeper into your team, either because your goalkeeper you've realised is tragic, maybe you're still on the double Leicester goalkeepers, then fair enough. Maybe Pope is to play. Or if you're on a wild card, maybe Pope is to play. But if not, if neither of those situations are true about you, then no, maybe not. Anthony is... This isn't going to go down well. He's an avoid. For me. He's an avoid. Right, let me just try and explain myself for a second. I understand why people are transferring in Anthony. He's the 5th most popular transfer in so far. He's only going to go up as people kind of, you know, people have already seen, oh, he scored in his debut. And more people are going to transfer him in constantly over the next few days. And I understand why, because he plays for Manchester United, and I know a lot of you guys watching right now, I know a lot of people who play FPL, a huge percentage are Manchester United fans, particularly international fans. A hell of a lot of Man United fans play FPL. They're the most popular team, you know, probably in the country, probably in FPL as well, which is what I'm saying. So, yeah, I understand. You've got a shiny new toy. He scored in his debut. These are very, very exciting things if you're a fan. And in terms of a fun pick, if you're a Manchester United fan and you want to have some fun with FPL, he's a must-buy. He's a must-buy. He's up there with Haaland. But in terms of being objective, as a kind of trying to be objective, he scored 1 goal. Yes, fair enough. That was good. The next fixture is against Crystal Palace away. I don't think it's the perfect fixture. He played, he didn't even make it to 60 minutes, did he? So they're probably still trying to get him to grips with the Premier League a little bit. He's only just arrived at the club, hasn't he? I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm not saying he's going to go on to have a bad career at United. I'm not even saying he's going to have a bad season. But I think it's slightly too early to go in on him, particularly when there are other Manchester United attackers that provide much better value for money. And I truly do believe there is another person on this list who provides much better value for money than Anthony. So I don't see why you would buy a worse FPL asset from the same team that costs over $1 million more. It doesn't make any sense to me. And I know if you're a Manchester United fan and you just want to have some fun, you want your shiny new toy and you want to play with it. I get it. I completely get it. Go do that. Have some fun. But this channel is about being serious, not having fun. This is a no fun zone. I will tolerate no fun in FPL. FPL is meant to be painful, or certainly it feels like it should be. So yeah, Anthony is going into a void for me. Sorry, not sorry. He's in there. Fight me. Pascal Gross, let's put him in a great transfer still. Played very well again. Unlucky not to get more returns. He could have done. I'm going to put him ahead of the likes of Sterling. I think he's a great transfer. Yeah, if you're still looking for that like cheap-ish midfielder, I do like Gross. Still, I do prefer from McAllister because Gross is just providing so much from open play, and he's on some free kicks as well. He's on corners as well. So there's a lot to love. There really is a lot to love. He's playing in a really advanced position. I like it. I like it a lot. So Pascal Gross, still a great pick. So maybe slightly behind Reece James. I do fancy Reece James against Fulham. But yeah, certainly Gross, newly promoted team in Gameweek 7 is always a good thing. So yeah, he's going in there. Tony, I know people are going to want me to put, he scored a hat-trick for God's sake. So everyone's going to be like, oh my God, he is an absolute must-buy. I actually still think he's behind Mitrovic. I think he's behind Martinelli. I think he's probably around the same place as Zaha. Like, if I already had him, then I'd obviously be keeping him. Who have they got next? Southampton next. And then it's Arsenal after that, though, isn't it? Which is slightly more of a banana skin for an attacker. It's difficult because, obviously, Haaland is a must-have. Then, arguably, Jesus is a must-have. Mitrovic, I think, is better than Tony. So where does Tony fit in? if I had a choice, who am I going to buy right now, Mitrovic or Tony? I'd be buying Mitrovic. If I already had Tony, I'd be sticking with Tony, of course. But because there's not a huge amount in it, but Mitrovic is just, his stats are better. He looks better. He's more, you know, he's got slightly more of a shooting threat. He's taking a lot more shots on. You can see he's taking a lot more shots on, which is how you get goals and how you get FPL points. So look, Tony is not a bad player. He's obviously a great player to bring in. And if you, for some reason, you've banned yourself from buying Fulham players for the season, or you've already got triple Fulham defense or something, then Tony is a fantastic replacement. But I just don't see how you fit him in if Mitrovic is right there, who I do prefer. I'm sorry. Trippier, I think, is he's either high optional or low great transfer. Like, he is a good pick. Like, he is a good player to come in. In fact, of all the defenders, you know, maybe he's even above Reece James in terms of priority of bringing in. Still not providing too much. Actually, he's saying that he provided a little bit of open play in last game week, didn't he? But you know, he hasn't provided like an insane amount. He's not like a James or a Trent or a Cancelo quite. But you know, he's not bad in terms of attacking threat, and he is a bit cheaper, isn't he? Newcastle have got some really good fixtures coming up as well. So I guess let's put Trippier there in a great transfer. I feel like I'm being too generous this week. I feel like I'm being far too generous. I'm putting too many players in great transfers. I need to be more critical. But apparently I've been nice this game week, so yeah, all right. Maybe I'm in a good mood. Maybe I'm in a good mood. Or maybe I'm just trying to appease you guys so you don't shout at me. Like, I'm sure you want me to put all of these players in a great transfer, don't you? Like, if I put every single one of these players in a great transfer and then put, like, Haaland in must-buy, everyone will be like, yeah, that looks about right. But no, I have to put some players down, and I'm going to put Rashford in a void. Now, I'm just trolling you guys, of course. Of course, he's a great transfer. Is he a top transfer? Would I put him ahead of the likes of Zaha and Martinelli? Probably not. Again, I'm not a huge fan of this Crystal Palace fixture, but the fixtures after that are good. Leeds in game week 8, I like. And Rashford is 6.4 million, so he's cheaper than Zaha. He's cheaper than Martinelli. He's cheaper than the likes of, you know, Sancho and Anthony, and I think he's a better pick than them as well. He's played a very good game at striker. He seems to be he's going to be continuing to play at striker. Maybe Martial comes in when he's available. Ronaldo doesn't seem to be it doesn't seem like he's going to get any starts, and Man United are getting results. So why change anything? You don't need to change anything. Rashford had a fantastic game as striker, so I expect him to stay there. So out of position, you know, playing more advanced than his FPL position suggests. He's the cheapest of all the Manchester United attackers. He's a good pick. He's just a straight up a good pick. Like, I can't even deny that. Really good price as well. So yeah, I still would not put him ahead of Martinelli and Zaha, but I would put him ahead of some of these other midfielders that you're perhaps thinking about going for. So yeah, all in all, yeah, Rashford is there. There's your tier list. That's all 20 players on the list. I've been very generous. But yeah, let me know what you think about this list. Do you agree with anything? Do you disagree with anything? Do you strongly disagree with anything? Always good to hear from you guys in the comments. I read all of them. So yeah, let me know. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy, please do leave a like. Please do subscribe if you're new. And I'm almost talking sense. Guys, we're going to have Buy, Sell, Keep, Avoid on Tuesday. On Wednesday, we're going to have the return of the 100 Experts video. So I'm hoping you guys are looking forward to that. So stay tuned. Make sure you got those notifications on. And we're going to smash it for content all over again. Another week of content. Let's go, baby. Make sure you check out the strategy stream that I uploaded last night. Hopefully it's a fairly good one. We speak about a couple of things. We speak about Salah. We speak about some of the Manchester United players and all kinds of other things like that. And maybe some different premiums you could go for, different midfielders you can go for, all sorts. So yeah, check that out. That's it from me today. Thank you so much for watching once again, and I will see you later, mates. Bye-bye.